How much money can we make off of this space elevator? That's our question today, and we are going to be playing around, having a little bit of fun. I haven't really done any of these episodes so far, and so I hope you guys enjoy it. And so let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing I want to do is lay out like a grid network, and so we need to make sure that our park path, with all the gates and everything, and how we're going to funnel everybody to basically pay as much as possible to get off of the space elevator. So we need to make our road a little bit longer so that people end up choosing walking over. What we're going to do first is come up here, grab this little guy, turn off road guidelines, and just go straight. And what I'm thinking is we will have a little bit of a curve, and then we'll probably follow the train tracks. And the reason for that is because we need a lot of space, and having this up here will allow us the ability to have that. And so I think if we go like that, and then what we'll do is we'll curve this guy in. And there we go. Nothing too crazy. But then we are going to I don't know if I really like how that looks right there. It kind of looks a little weird. It's not along the same symmetry of this area, but let's see. Maybe we will add in. Maybe we'll go this way. And so we'll come up. Yeah, I think this could work. We still need to come down though to ensure that it's the longer path. So that's one of the biggest issues with this is people hopping in their cars, which we are going to put down a toll booth, but we want to try and ensure as many people as possible end up going through our little our gates. And so let's come in here, and we are going to go like this. And then let's put the space elevator down, and it looks like it's a little off, so I'm going to go back into the Move It mod. We're just going to shift it over, just so we can kind of get it in the middle there. And then I'm going to grab our road, and just come around. And there you go. And then I'm just going to grab a basic... I mean, you know what? This one actually looks good. I was going to go for the comper, but I think this looks good, and it adds a little bit of color for surrounding it. And so basically what we're going to do is put our park entrance right here, and then we are going to funnel it all the way back over here. And then because we have this great transit terminal that we worked on a few episodes ago, we are actually going to do a tunnel that connects up with this tunnel, because then it just creates a really clean path for people to be able to get access to the rest of the city. And when I was playing around with this before, it actually works out really well. So let's go back into our roads, and I do want to create a little bit of a entrance for this guy. And so we are going to go like that, and then we're going to do the same on this side, and then we will just flip that around. And then we are going to come in here and put in a toll booth, because we still are going to get people utilizing that's funny, it's a little off. We still are going to get people utilizing the roads, and so we do want to make sure that we still make a little bit of money off of them. And what we could do is do a ton of toll booths, just because of our space constraints. I don't think it's the best idea. And there you go. And so now, theoretically, it should be easier to walk rather than drive back and then around, even though in real life this would still be pretty quick. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the game since we are starting to get notifications for that. And let's go ahead and paint in the park district real quick. And there we go. And then I'm just going to jump into policies and go down to high ticket prices. Because another thing we're going to do in this is beef up our taxi service. And so theoretically, if anybody is hopping into a taxi in this area, then it will end up costing more, which is actually pretty realistic. Taxi prices do tend to surge in tourist areas, probably because of the relationship with demand and supply. And so it is a little more realistic. And so let's go ahead and place down our main gate. And I do want it to be somewhere over here. You know, it would have been nice to put it right there, but just don't think it's going to fit as well. Maybe because it would have been nice to put that right there. Maybe we can move our No, you know what? I think that's okay. And then we will actually just put this right there. Let's see how that looks. I kind of wish it was in a little bit better of a location, but that's not terrible. And then all we need to do now is create our lovely little maze, basically. And so I was originally thinking over there, but it looks like this is actually going to be a little bit of a better location right there. And so we are just going to come out, and I'm going to turn off road guidelines. And then what we are going to do is utilize the pedestrian roads. I really like how these look, and then it kind of gives us the ability to put in a 3 square segment, though it looks like it may be giving me some issues right now, of course. Hey, there you go. And then I'm just going to come in here and then copy this guy. Oh, it looks like I was selected on something else too. And then we're going to come in here and we're just going to keep that there as our little template for right now. I'm going to put it right there, and then let's come in here and put in our first little gate in our labyrinth maze customs area. It's kind of funny because all these people just show up on the space elevator, so it'd be fair to assume that they're from outer space. Maybe they jumped on a space elevator in another city or something. I'm not really sure, but people literally just come out of the doors. And so let's copy this guy again. And I think we're going to end up labyrinthing this around, but I do still want it to look good. I don't want to just like throw it in there all hodgepodge. So we're probably going to put down some trees and make it just a really nice walk. Because you got to imagine for these people, they'd be coming off the space elevator and they're like, oh yeah, this is, you know, Earth. And then all of a sudden they're being funneled through all these gates that are charging them $20 a piece. They're like, man, what's going on? And after each gate, they're like, welcome. And then you end up leaving, and then you have to pay another $20. And it'd kind of be confusing, but people would just be pushing them along until at the very end, they end up paying like a couple $100 just to walk through like 10 parks. Which would be pretty shady. I mean, in real life, it would have to be, it definitely, this wouldn't fly. People would probably make it through the first gate, and they're like, oh yeah, we're super excited. And the next thing you know, it's like, welcome. And they're having to pay another $20. People would be like, oh, I'm not going to do this. But then they turn around and they would have to pay another $20 just to leave. And so it would not work out very well. People would be pretty upset. And so let's come back in here. And this is already coming together pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and finish this real quick. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I cleaned up the little pedestrian roads and then straightened out all the paths, and so now it's at least going to be a little bit nice, because I think once this park does end up upgrading, which is going to be pretty quick, we'll end up putting little gazebos so that maybe somebody, as they're walking through, they're getting a little tired from the walk and having to pay $20 every time. And so there would be little gazebos where maybe people are handing out water and they're like, you can make it! Don't give up now! And then we'll just... And there we go. And so we got it connected with that. And I do want to put in some other stuff in here as well. But let's go ahead and do that underground bridge real quick. Or underground tunnel, not bridge. And so we already have one right here, and this is why I was kind of thinking it'd be a great addition for this area, because then it just goes underneath this whole area, and it's just a super convenient alternative for these people. And so maybe we'll go the other direction. I think that could be good. Yeah, there we go. And so now there is a nice little addition for this area. I think I'm going to go ahead and shift that over just one more. Yeah, because I feel like it would just be a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. And so now the tunnel would be kind of right off the road, and people can make it into it pretty easily from this little entrance area. And so we are going to jack this up to 20 bucks. And a couple things that this is going to do. First off, so many people end up coming off this, and we have the boost connections policy for this area, and so we are going to get just a ton of people, which means this road right here is going to be stressed out. This whole connection, which we were already having some issues with, is going to be stressed out. And so I'm going to go ahead and unpause it so that we can get this rolling. It does take a little bit for the people to start coming, but we are going to, you know, it's so funny. I hit play, but we need to pause, and I want to cut this back. We're just going to go ahead and basically delete this whole section. I think I'm going to get rid of the 2-lane road for right here. And then we're going to come in here and go to our little 6-lane road and just come up here, and I'm going to turn on road guidelines so we can make sure that we are in the middle there. And then I'm going to come up to the roundabout builder, and I want it to be a pretty decently sized roundabout. Yep, I think that's good because it's going to end up handling quite a bit of volume, and so we would want it to be able to do that without any hiccups. And then I think for this side, it would be better if we did a single connection and then had it split like we did before, versus having it split at the roundabout, because then it could just create a little more tension for the roundabout that we don't necessarily want. And then we just need to hook up these other roads, and so let's go like that, and we could do an asymmetric. We are going to have this be a 4-lane, so maybe we'll do a 3 and 2 asymmetric. I think that could be good. I'm not sure anybody will end up using all 3 lanes, but 2 and 4, yeah, 3 and 2. So this one right here, we will connect this guy up, and voila, make sure that the asymmetrics are facing the right direction, and they are. And then let's come in here and go to a nice 4-lane one-way road, and I'll choose the trees just because why not? It does help with lane value, and it makes it a little bit nicer for the people. Then we're going to come in here and just control shift click, make sure that we get everything all set up, the priorities and everything. And then now this ideally should work out a lot better. It does look like we need to shift this guy over just a smidge though. And if it will allow me to select it. And I don't think it will. I'm going to go ahead and delete this guy. And then maybe we'll be able to... Oh yeah, we can't get this, I guess. So, of course, I can get one. At least I didn't have to delete both of them, though. And so we can actually just stretch it, because I don't want to connect this here. It's literally only for walking paths. I don't like cars usually using this boardwalk as much. It's really only for emergency services and deliveries. And so by connecting it like that, it just turns it into a path, though I think some cars still do utilize it, but they are connected back here. And so I think most of the time they end up just turning around. And so I think we're set up there, and we can unpause it now, but we do need to upgrade this road. And I'm just going to go for the small 4-lane road. Bam, bam. And then we are going to turn this into a priority road, which turns off the left turn lanes for most of this, but we are going to turn it back on for this side. And the reason for that is because we do want cars to be able to come out of here, and we do want to jack this up as well. But basically all these cars, they can come around and then maybe turn. If they're trying to get in here, they can take an alternative route. It does kind of increase their trip a little bit, but kind of funny. Cars are still turning. So I think we're just going to do this, which allows them to turn down those streets. Because I think if we end up funneling it all the way down, it could create more of an issue. We do want to set up... Oh yeah, because I had already set that up. And so now we should start getting people here soon. Yeah, so we are getting a pretty decent amount choosing the car route. But as you can see, a lot of people are starting to walk down here. And so one of the things I do want to do is, while we're kind of waiting to see the ratio for this, because we may need to just end up extending this out a little further to make it less realistic for people to drive, because it does look like it's quite a few people. But we are getting some good travelers through here already. Yeah, we're already at, 300-400 people, and so... but I do want to lay down some more taxi depots. We already do have a pretty decent amount of people waiting for taxi service, and so it would be smart for us to just kind of beef it up a little bit. We don't need to get crazy with it, but we do need to place them around the city a little bit more than we already have them, and so we have some down here already. It looks like we have 2, so we'll go ahead and place another one right there. Each one of these has 25 taxis, and you figure we have 150,000 people in our city, so it would be good to place down probably like 5, maybe even close to 10. And this is an industrial area, which is good. There's a little bit of noise associated with these, and so we do want to be mindful of that. We don't want to put them in like a residential area. So we'll place one there. We could, honestly don't know if one is going to be needed back here, but maybe some workers will utilize the taxis. I'm not really sure. We'll put one right there. And we can even put one over here next to the school too. You know what, this little area is pretty good. It's off the freeway, there's nothing there already, and so having a little taxi depot right there wouldn't be bad. And then we could put one over here next to all these little services. Ooh, it looks like this guy doesn't have water. And so we got 3 right there already. We could put one down here since this is one of our hotspots for the taxis. And we do have a little bit of like a service center in this back corner, because a lot of people do end up waiting here for the taxis. You can kind of see the green. That means that they're waiting for a taxi. And so we got some. We could put some over here as well in the little tech district. And you know what? I think that's probably good, because we will... That should be a decent amount now. We could put one in here though too, because this is like a little bit of a commercial area, and it'd be good to have it. And we'll put one in this industrial area as well. Let's go ahead and put it right there. And you know what? Just because we can, let's put one over here too. And there you go. And so one of the cool things about this, if you do end up placing down a lot of taxis, is you do end up getting like taxi lines, and you kind of see all these people waiting. These could potentially, yeah, all those people are waiting for a taxi. So we could even put a little taxi stand here. I don't know if it's going to really be needed, but let's go ahead and place one just to see what it does. Because I think ideally taxis can come here and queue up, but the way that we have our taxi service set up right now, we just don't have enough taxis to adequately fulfill. So like you can see, there's just one taxi. And so we may still need to place down more, because it is a pretty decent amount of people waiting. But let's check out our park and see how it is going so far. Hey, there you go. Look, so we are already making 72,000, which is pretty good. In my tests, I had pumped this up to about 100, 150, and we definitely have more in this one, and so I think we still have a little bit of room to go. I think once this expands, it'll probably be a little bit better. I was kind of hoping people would wait in the taxi stands, but it doesn't look like... It looks like it's literally just for the taxis, and so... Alright, so now what I want to do is kind of decorate this up a little bit. We do have a pretty nice little thing going. I just want to make it look nice to where people paying all this money would be a little more worth it. At least they would see something cool. And so we are going to spend a little bit of time decorating this. And I do want to choose just a nice tree, something that's going to look good. And there you go. You know, I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to come in here and do a little bit of foliage in the middle. And then I think we're going to do some rocks around the outside. I feel like this is a good opportunity to get like a nice rock formation in. You know what? I think that looks pretty good for our little cheesy entrance. And it looks like so 42,000. We're actually not making as much money as I was thinking. It looks like a lot of people are taking the car. Less people are taking this route now. It's kind of interesting. I was really expecting this to stay pretty heavy. Though it looks like our... Let's see how much money we're making from the cars. Not a whole lot, but I mean 300. It's not terrible, though our traffic here is pretty crazy. I feel like this is a lot. Looks like a lot of cars are taking this route. I kind of wish we had made this a little bit wider so that more people chose to walk. Though I think there might be a limit maybe, because when I had tested this out, I didn't do this as wide as this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 parks. So they are spending like $400 to go through here, which is a lot. I mean, that would be a good amount of money, especially for people who had probably just spent a lot taking this little space elevator guy. This would probably not be a cheap trip. But we do have the higher ticket prices, so you can kind of see now all the taxis, they're kind of lining up. It's almost like New York City or something. It's wrapped all the way around, and they're just waiting to get people in over here, but because of the amount of traffic, it is starting to cause problems. Because I think, too, what's happening is all these people are walking over here and then pulling out their cars so that the taxis can't even pick anybody up. It's definitely causing some issues. Let's see if maybe we can upgrade some of the roads, because we are having some issues over here related to people leaving. Are they stopping for anything? Oh, it looks like we are getting a little bit of a stop right here, so let's just tell them to continue on. Because if we can get this line to move quickly, then we will solve a lot of our issues. Because it looks like we're not really having any problems over here. It's just all related to these people leaving, which we do have the automated tolls, and so they should clear up. And so I do want to figure out something else to do with this area. Maybe let's see about placing another unique building. Maybe, I mean, it'd be nice if we could factor into this whole cheese scenario so that we can make a little bit more money off of it. Let's see if we can fit something in here. So the hypermarket would be good. Man, there's already so much traffic in here. I wonder if maybe we should just leave this like this for now. Because all these people are having issues. Though another thing we could do is create an alternative connection. One of the things I had kind of identified was that we do We do still have an empty space for the train station. We have a metro station under here, and so we could very easily do another little metro station right here, which could probably be good, though I'd want to set up another cheese scenario, because otherwise we could just end up losing out on more people taking this path. But it does look like now that we've lowered it down that we are getting more people to choose the park. So I wonder if maybe now we'll start getting a little more people. Because that is, I mean, it looks like more people are already starting to take this guy. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is create another avenue for these people to leave. Because right now, it's just getting kind of crazy. I did end up upgrading this to a 6-lane road, but it's kind of helped the traffic a little bit. As you can see, there's still a ton of people taking this, and so we're making good money. 100,000. I mean, this is definitely good, but I think if we add another little station over here, it would maybe get a little more people to choose going through the park rather than the car. And so what I was thinking is we would choose a nice like 6-lane road, and then we'll come up here, go like that, and it looks like this little intersection's a little weird. Go like that. There we go. And then we can just go like that. We don't really need people stopping there right now, especially since this is the main road. And then I do want to put like a little bit of zoning around here, and we have a little bit of industrial demand, so I think maybe some offices around here would be good. And so we will come in here and choose the small 4-lane road again, and then we will come up here, and I want it to be 4 away from that. So I think we'll go like that. I think that's probably good. We could even, let's see about, kind of messed that up. I didn't intend to delete that other road, but maybe we'll go like this, and then we can do a nice little curved road. Have it kind of blend in a little bit with the roundabout. Though I wish it was lined up with the train tracks, I think this looks better like this, because having the road all kind of weird like that just didn't look that great. And then what we're going to do, so we're going to connect this guy up with our main end terminal, our train multi-platform end station. And so I do want to put in a couple little stops on the way, areas that, so like right here's a metro, there's a metro. So we could do one like right here somewhere. I think this would probably be good. Let's go ahead and put it right there, and then we'll have it turn, and this little industrial area does not have one either, so I think this would probably be a good spot too. So I think maybe we will go like this. It's kind of funny. I think I had collision off for this, so it probably put it right below the building. Yeah, it did. And then I think that should be good. So we will just connect these up real quick. And there we go. And so we don't have any crazy hills with it. It looks like it's pretty good connection. A lot of the metro is lower than what it is right there, and so it would be a reasonable line. And I do want to line this up. And then we're just going to have this guy go below ground. And just connect up with this guy. And there you go. And this is a little steep. I mean, I don't know if there's really much we can do about that other than maybe we can lower this down just a little bit. Yeah, I think, you know what, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to help out, but we'll see. I know the metro can end up doing much steeper grades than the regular trains, like the freight trains, but you'd still want to be reasonable. You wouldn't want it going down like a huge drop. And there we go. And then let's just make sure that this guy is connected to power. And there we go. And then does it have water? Yep, it has water. And so what I'm thinking is we'll end up putting a little bit of zoning around this, but I do want to connect up our park path. And so what I'm thinking is we'll probably just do a tunnel from this side, which I don't know if it will actually work out as well as I'm kind of hoping, because it would end up being a huge like turnaround for these people. But I think it's worth a shot, because building out another one of these is going to be kind of a challenge. And so I think this is worth the try at least. And there we go. And then I don't want that to be connected right there. And there we go. And it would probably be smart for us to even, because it does bypass one of the... you know, we'll leave it like that. It does bypass one of the payments, but ideally we want people to use this, and so... I honestly don't know if anybody will take that route, though, because it is way out of the way, but I guess we'll see. At least, I mean, people who come off, they wouldn't have to pay to get into the park. They could just get off, come down here, and then get onto this side or whatever they wanted to do. Let's go ahead and check that line real quick, though. Alright. So it looks like we got 3, 4. I mean, we're getting some people. I don't expect this to be a crazy line, but it does kind of fill in a little bit of the gaps with some of our transit network. We have a pretty extensive transit network, but providing opportunities for people to not to have to travel as far is always good, especially with like industrial areas. And so now somebody down here can get up here really quickly, even though I think there is a bus. But then like even over here, it's just, we have so much transportation options like train, tram, metro. I mean, there's just so many options, but now it's just a little bit faster for people. Like on this side, they can just hop on. I think it was right here. Yeah, so now people can. Let's just see. Yeah, look. I mean, it looks like a pretty decent amount of people are already using this one, which is good. I just don't know if anybody's going to use this one. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But it looks like maybe people are walking up from over here. So maybe let's put in a path over here. And so I think people are going to start using this other station to get over to the other side, which is good. I just don't know if anybody from here is going to use it, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I know if we put in a separate little zigzag over here, people would, but it's just going to end up taking a lot of time. And so we are making good money, 42,000, and it kind of fluctuates. It goes up and down. And as you can see, the traffic isn't too terrible here anymore. I think by adding in the 6th lane, it did help out quite a bit. Though we do have some taxi issues. A lot of these people are waiting for taxis. Oh, it looks like we're having some crime issues over here too. We can put in, since this is a tourist area, let's put these in, because then it would kind of help to buffer this a little bit. Yeah, there you go. At least now it would be a little bit safer, and maybe that actually will lead to more people taking the space elevator, though this does end up fluctuating up and down. The highest I've seen it is like 1,000, so 361 is actually pretty low. And so it's, I mean, not a lot of people are coming out, but we're still getting a pretty decent amount. Just not mountains anymore. Just so many people are taking the road. I mean, that honestly, if I came in on it, there's no way I would go through this. This would be like $400 versus what, $2, and so this would definitely be the better option. Though let's go ahead and put down some water pipes around this guy. And so what I was thinking is probably just offices. Yeah, we'll just go like that, go like that. We'll probably just go like this. And I don't want any on that street, so we'll probably just go like that. And then we could even put just a little bit of shopping down here. Yeah, you know what? We'll just do a little bit. Having it on this main road probably isn't the smartest, but having more shopping would be good. But we'll see. Maybe we'll come back through and get rid of that. Yeah, there you go. I was trying to stay on the other side of that zoning, which it looks like it worked. Though it may be a little while for these to grow out. We don't have a huge demand for industrial, but it looks like one of them's coming in, which is good. And then let's check out this guy. So we got a couple people, though I don't know if it's anybody from here. Oh, it does look like there are some people, so maybe now that they have discovered it, maybe we'll start to get... So there's a couple. Oh yeah, look at that. So people are taking this route, which is great. And so ideally, what we're trying to do is just funnel a little more of these people that are driving to go through the park. And I mean, it does look like a fair amount of people are coming through here. And we're making great money. I mean, we're fluctuating. We're at 76,000 right now, which is really good. And I like how this area turned out, though I was hoping to maybe fill in a little more or put in another unique building. We could have done something right here, but I just know the space elevators has so many people, and so I didn't want to overcrowd it. Because as you can see, we're already having issues with traffic, and so you definitely don't want to overdo it. I've done it with maps before where I put it in like a more industrious area, thinking that because it's in the middle of a city, then all the people will kind of disperse, and it just doesn't end up working out as well with the whole pocket cars thing. Now, if you have parking AI on, then we would be able to prevent all this, and then we would just put down some parking lots, and it would be a little more organized. And so hopefully in the next one, that's something that I really hope to see in Cities Skylines too, is something similar to the parking AI instead of these pocket cars, because this just makes it kind of harder to manage, and it's just incredibly unrealistic. Like all these people walking over here and then pulling out their cars. Now it's just messing up traffic because these people are pulling out of an imaginary parking lot or something. And so you don't really get to control like where the cars come out. Whereas with parking lots, you can design an area around the parking lot and even funnel traffic in certain directions and everything. And so let me know what you think about the area. We're making really good money with it. I know this is the first little cheese one that I've done before. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.